Hey everybody, a quick video about circuit superstars and some GeneRally. So we've seen this a little bit with some YouTubers playing it, and it's a pretty fun, super cute top-down racing game. Things you can do with it, online, quite a few nice things. I just want to focus on the handling for this video, and for that we'll do the weekly time trial, where I am 1 second off the pace on a 30-second lap, so I'm not really that good at it, even though, what does this put me? 163rd. Well, could be worse, I suppose. Before I set off, I limited the frame rate to 120, otherwise it cooked my system for no reason, doing 600, 500 FPS. Anyway, this is, you can see how cute it is. There's no need to talk about the cuteness of the game. It's very cute, very cute. Let's see how quick I can get up to speed. Doing GeneRally. You can already see this is something you would like to do because it's amazing fun. Great apex though. So you control it fairly nicely, missing all the apexes. It's very realistic. I do that all the time in proper sim racing too. You have to get used to it a little bit. But it is mostly good fun. Actually in Apex, I'll be very slow just doing a few laps, because it takes a little while to get into. It's a 30 anyway, so that's pretty slow lap. You can see there was a lot of room for improvement. I'm running a 16:10 aspect ratio monitor, which is probably helping ever so slightly with the field of view, seeing a bit better where you're going. So that wasn't too bad, 30.2 for me at least. You can see some things in the handling that are quite cute. It does feel pretty natural. It's not super weird when you look at something like Trackmania, where if you enter at this angle, suddenly you get 10 times the grip and you can do a grip slide, hack, whatever. So far this feels natural-ish and logical, and if you are smooth and your lines are good and you're on the throttle early, you get a better lap time. So in that sense it's pretty cool. You can get oversteer in the grass like that or on the sand, but you cannot oversteer really. You know, you can just keep that throttle pinned and the steering pinned. It's very understeery, and also to go straight it sort of oscillates one tick. It wobbles a little bit, whoops. It's a little indirect on the straight there. You see the rear sort of hangs out, but it's always understeery, and it's more a matter of timing. And the lines, but you cannot really oversteer. So this got me thinking, as cute as it is, and as challenging and fun as it is, and early access, right? So who knows what's going to happen over the next while or so. I thought I was going to do a negative lap time there. But as cute as it is, here for example, you cannot really take that inside. It sort of seems to be that there's sort of a minimum radius the car turns, and going slower doesn't tighten that radius as much as you would think. There's not quite that challenge of being able to oversteer or go too tight. It's very precise and very fun and logical, but track limits, it's very realistic. Not quite like as advanced as GeneRally, and that's what I'm gonna play in just a little bit. GeneRally is, in my opinion, still better in the handling and oversteer and the challenge it gives you. GeneRally also has some super frantic racing. I haven't done a lot of AI racing here yet, so I just want to look at the physics. Of course, there are different cars. They all drive a little bit differently. Another thing that, look at the brakes. They don't do a whole lot. This is throttle. And this is, oh, sorry, off throttle versus braking. It does not do a whole lot. Off throttle, braking. See, it doesn't stop you very much. So I tend to sort of tap the steering a bit, tap the throttle a little bit every now and then, perhaps touch the brake a little bit. The brakes aren't super effective, and they also don't really sort of act like a handbrake or make the radius a lot tighter. It seems more a matter of timing and speed, and brakes aren't as efficient, and there's a bit of snaking on the straight as well. It's a really good effort though, and it's super cute, and the fact that you can do online racing, you can do it in GeneRally. So, as cool as this is and fun as this is, and I think it's worth the €16, and it's early access, so let's hope they keep developing it, and perhaps the handling will get better, although it has its qualities. But what do I mean about GeneRally? Well, let's play GeneRally and let me try to explain generally what GeneRally is about. In many ways, Circuit Superstars reminds me of GeneRally, which I've loaded again. It's a pretty old game, but it's still, well, a couple of years ago it got an update and it works fine on the Windows 10. It's free. Some advantages are that it has modding support, so I think you can get a whole bunch of tracks, endless amounts of tracks and stuff, but there's quite a few included as well. And let me try to explain why this is a lot more fun. It's basic, the screen is static. It is 3D-ish, you can get sort of a top-down, or this is not quite top-down, you see it there, the perspective is a little bit, it's there. So it's the tiny little thing there, glad that there's 60 FPS video. So we have to do a very shallow bend. Now, it can be tight, tidy. But this feels more like rallying. You have to do things in advance. I'll start turning earlier, and this thing especially. See, that was terrible. You have to do this drift here around this thing, and when you get that right, it's super satisfying, and it's more like a Scandinavian. It's not really a Scandinavian flick, but it feels so cool. And this is super tight, so if you do it too early there, it bounces a little bit. So there's a sort of a ridge here. So getting this right and going on the throttle. And here as well. See, I braked and that made the car slide, and then it meant I can do sort of an opposite lock exit there. Of course, it's very simplified, but this is a lot more. Oh yeah. Just that corner gives me more sort of Tiffany Dell satisfaction than Circuit Superstars does. And then finding hundreds of seconds in lap time is quite a challenge. And the AI is frantic. It's amazing to drive the AI. And you can configure the AI, give them better or less skills. So you can always get a race against people of comparable skill. I've turned fuel use and tire wear off. In that sense, oh, that's riding the ledge there. It's a little bit like Circuit Superstars, because if I can do a pit stop here, you can see. Oh, well, there's not a lot to change. You can stop at any team, and they will. Oh, sorry, that's a little bit of imaginary splatter there. But you can have pit stops as well. And this is also cute. It's just cute from 15 years ago, whenever this came out originally. It doesn't have the 3D cuteness, but it's still kind of cute. And this General car is fairly slidey. There's also Formula car, which is easier and more planted. But this I find the most challenging, fun car. There's a host of vehicles and probably even mods, but I haven't really checked. But what I'm doing here is having to brake, unlike Circuit Superstars where I barely feel like I have to. And you can also do this, right? And in Superstars you cannot power slide or drift. And that's just, as simple as it is, it's very cool to do. Oh, and there's poles you can hit. But overall the challenge here is just so much fun. And this is a free game, so if anything you learn from this video, give this a try. I'll put a link in the description. There must be an active community somewhere. The tracks have a lot of variety. Some are smaller and some are bigger. Narrow roads, tight bends, sweeping corners. There is elevation change as well. So I'm tapping the throttle to sort of slow down, sometimes using the brakes. Brakes are really effective. Cut the track where you can. Here. See, that to me is a Scandinavian flick, and that's awesome in a game like this. It's amazing. You do have to try it. I don't know if it comes across properly on a video like that. Oh, too hot. Ow, murder. Nailing things when the camera's running is a little tricky. What? And a little skid mark, that was a cute feature. Oh, yeah, wanna go tight, but not too tight. See, now I have not once nailed the little hairpin bend there, but you can see it is at least something you have to set the car up and start doing the turning before you're there. And it's not just understeer, you can also over-rotate, and that's something you cannot really do in Circuit Superstar. So GeneRally is, in my opinion, amazing fun still after all this time. It still works well, it's free. I guess you can always try Circuit Superstars. Like I said, it's early access. Who knows what will change, and it's a lot of fun. You can do it online, but there is just definitely a place for every sim racer, because this has sim-ish properties. To try GeneRally, you can also configure the controls in GeneRally, unlike Circuit Superstar. So I'm using the AZ point comma, which is easier on my fingers than the arrow keys with one hand. So it's a real bag of fun. Let me just see if I can find another track. I don't know what's included in the game by default, if I downloaded these somewhere. Brazil. This is sort of a parking lot, and this is also a nice challenge. It's quite narrow here, and these are sort of tire walls that suck you in a little bit. So you want to get this line here as straight as possible, and then when you get into the groove, which I won't get while talking, you have to set that hairpin up, slide the car up, grab me there. Turning here, off the throttle, nice exit. Turning here already, oh yeah, made it. It's really good fun. And yes, I am a sim racing physics pleb, but this has enough physics and enough challenge and logical, plus the sliding, to keep me hooked for quite a long time until my fingers hurt. So, Circuit Superstars, fun, work in progress, who knows what it's gonna end up like. Of course, it looks a lot more modern. Do not forget GeneRally, link in the description, give it a go, it's a lot of fun. Bye bye.